we're on day 22. Holy crap, it's been over 3 weeks. And we're heading to Derrick Knob shelter, we think. And it's a little over 12 miles and I think over 3,400 feet of elevation. The question today is, will the over 4,000 feet of elevation yesterday make this harder to do over 3,000 feet of elevation? We'll see. It's a great morning though. Had a great night. Slept well. Almost too hot at the beginning. A little too cold at the end. I ended up putting my puffy on about 3 in the morning. All right, again, I'm going to mention it's a beautiful morning. This is the privy. So, point being, the shelter here has no privy, and you just go out in the field and find a suitable location. So, yeah, well, that happened. We had a business meeting. Way too much information. I'm kind of getting used to it. So, again, I know that a lot of people, that's one of the number one things they get anxious about when the idea of a long hike is the idea of pooping in the woods, and really not a big deal, folks. It's not a big deal. All right, so again, we're going to Derrick Knob shelter. It's over 12 miles, over 3,400 feet. Hopefully our legs aren't worn out from yesterday's 3,400 plus feet elevation climb. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. A little concerned. The idea is we could stop earlier, but that would make the third day either longer or add another day before we get out of this section of the Smokies to Clingman's Dome. And the day after tomorrow, it's supposed to start raining. So the more hiking we can get in this kind of weather, it's just beautiful, the better off we're going to be. Though hiking in the rain isn't that big of a deal. But anyways, that's the goal. Try to make over 12 miles today. So last night, an interesting point was we started, at some point, I had a pretty strong smell, like a real musky smell from coming outside our tent. And all I can think of, there's some animal out here, which would probably be bear. This morning, the other people in the shelter reported that a mama bear and a baby bear came into the shelter, within 3 feet of the front of the shelter, and we're just walking around looking for food and making noise. So, yeah, wish I would have seen it, but it was our first nearby bear encounter. Nothing was taken. No food was taken. Everybody had their food up on the cables, so it was all good. Yeah. So anyways, I've been dreading the Smokies, dreading the temps at night because at higher elevation it can get pretty wintry up here, and we didn't have that at all. It was actually one of the warmest nights we've had so far, and it may be that way throughout the thing. Of course, we're going to have some rain coming in, but still, that's not a problem. The other thing about the Smokies though is you're kind of locked in once you start. You kind of got to go from, you have one break at Clingman's Dome, but other than that, you're locked in from start to finish. But we may break it up and do the first half to Clingman's Dome, or maybe to the next gap, and then finish it afterwards. We'll see. But this was not really an issue. So, by the way, we're seeing a lot of this. I don't know if you can see it. It's just all rooted up. I think this may be the wild hogs that are doing this. Yeah. There's quite a bit of that. Though I haven't seen any wild hogs. Yeah. So for breakfast this morning, basically, last night I had the, I think it's called Mountain House meals. I don't know, pad thai, but it's 2 servings. So I ate half of it and saved the other half and ate it this morning. I was gonna eat something else, but got a half-open package with stuff in it. I'm like, well, I'll just make that, and that package will be gone. But the thing is, when something like this has 2 servings, I think the reality is it's 1.5 servings. Because a half serving, or just one of the servings, half of the bag, is really kind of light. You know, with hiker hunger, you really want more. If I try to eat the entire bag, but 2 servings, I think it would be a bit much. And then you got to carry all the leftover food in your pack all the way out. No, the solution would be buy 2 bags, and that would be 3 meals. Yeah. And yeah, that would be better. When I was out looking for a cat hole in this field, I noticed there's a lot of holes already dug, and I'm thinking like, dang, this place is busy. But then I started thinking like, why are there holes that weren't covered? They weren't used, they're just holes. Part of me went, well, I could just use one. But it didn't occur to me till I'm walking on the trail that those aren't cat holes. Those are holes made by the hogs. So yeah, learning. Yeah, this part of the trail is just beautiful. Of course, you've heard me say it before. I just really like the mornings. The sun shining on everything and the quiet stillness and the birds. So yeah, it's quite nice. We're on just a gentle slope downhill. It's a pretty major descent before we have to do a pretty major ascent, which I'm not looking forward to. Yeah, so what we found is that every new day that we hike, I have this dialogue with my legs at the start, and the legs are going, oh no, we're not doing this. And then, then they kind of give up. That's how I see it, and go along, and the pain goes away. Well, today, the pain took a lot longer to go away, and it's from the 4,100 feet of elevation and all the hiking we did yesterday. So, yeah, but I feel good now. That pain is gone. I feel like I'm in a groove. And so I have to start walking uphill, of course. It might be a different story, but right now, it's all good. So, yeah. We're about a mile in of our 12+ mile day. So I started the hike with this perception about listening to headphones, music, podcasts, Audible books, whatever. So I started this hike with the idea that I really didn't want to use headphones on the trail. I thought it would take away from the hiking experience, listening to the birds, maybe hearing other animals. So about a few days ago, I decided I was getting tired coming up this long climb, and I thought I'd listen to some music. So to my surprise, I think it really helped kind of take my mind off the leg pain and exertion. So kind of changed my thought on that. But originally, when I thought about whether or not I would listen to anything on the trail, and I thought, well, maybe there'd be long sections that were boring, and I would want to have something. I bought these Shocks over-the-ear bone conduction headphones, and the reason is that they would allow me to hear still the ambient noise and mainly important other hikers coming up behind me. But they use Bluetooth, and that was actually the positive. So I have this MP3 player that has a Bluetooth connection, and I could just play it that way. So, but I don't know if you have to do a Bluetooth connection every time you use it, but it's not connecting anymore. And I can't remember how to do it with the Shocks headphones. This is like 3 different buttons and 2 different lights, and I don't really know what you're supposed to do to make it pair up. I don't remember. I paired it up at home, but it's not paired up anymore. So I said, screw it. And I did not carry the Shocks headphones with me. They're back in the van. And I brought my backup wired headphones. So cool. I plugged those in. And one of the main things I do, especially like last night, was I just listen to Audible books while I'm in my tent. I had no service, so my and all the Audible books are on the MP3 player. So that worked out well, other than the fact that I tend to fall asleep in the middle of the Audible book and it just keeps playing and I have no idea where it stops, you know, when I resume it. Anyways, so this morning I look and my MP3 player is dead. And of all the electronic devices I own or brought with me on the trail, the MP3 player is the only one that uses a micro USB, not the USB-C. And my micro USB cable, charging cable, is with my electronic stuff back in the van. So I have a dead MP3 player. Well, you think, well, you could use your phone. Well, the phone doesn't have a headphone jack. It's the Samsung S24 Ultra, and it only has Bluetooth. And the Shocks headphones are in the van. So for the next 3 days, I had no music, no podcast, no Audible books, which I'm fine with. You know, it's first world problems, right? But lesson learned. Anyways, point being, I do want to be able to listen to music on the trail. I do like it. It's pretty damn cool. I was thinking as I go forward that I might start assigning a song a day to my daily vlogs. And sometimes the theme of the song fits perfectly into what I'm doing or hiking or thinking at that moment. Rambling on again. Talk to you later. One thing that I find interesting on this trail so far is, 22 days in, I have not seen one deer, which I think is kind of odd. But deer tracks. So just magical. All right, we're just over 3 miles in. You hear the sound of plastic bags crunching. It's because of the temporary engineering fix for the pads on the backpack for the scoliosis. We'll fix that. But for now, it is what it is. What shelter is this? Spencer Field or something like that?
I think.
At a fireplace?
Ours had a fireplace.
Oh, it did? I never looked inside.
Yeah, ours had a fireplace last night.
Russell Field.
Oh, this is Russell Field?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Not too bad. Yeah.
Huh. Hey,
There you go.
I know. I saw it. All right, leaving this really cool shelter with this little fireplace surrounded by flower fields. Look at that, just flower fields. That's the way down to the water source. That up there is a horse corral because they have horses on this trail. The fire pit. And again, which is a Smokies thing, no privy. It's just beautiful here, isn't it? I'm enjoying the Smokies now. These flowers are a little different than we've seen before. Let's see if you can focus in on it. It's a beautiful tree. Not sure what it is. It has white flowers everywhere budding out. Cool. So Buzz mentioned that he thinks these trees are crepe myrtles. Could be. Looks pretty cool. Never been in basically a crepe myrtle forest. It's pretty neat. Just keeps going. They're all over. So I'm thinking this is why this mountain's called Rocky Top. Whew. All right, Rocky Top Mountain is in the books. We're now climbing along this ridge and heading to Thunderhead Mountain. This is not an easy path down from Thunderhead. All right, not to complain too much, but a couple miles down now from Thunderhead Mountain, and it's been nothing but picking our way down these rock scrambles, and it's getting old. My feet are starting to hurt. All right, I gotta climb, and this. The last descent before we climb up to the shelter area, about 700 feet up. So, yeah, it's an interesting tree thing going on here. So, let me tell you that I am physically worn out. It's been a struggle day. Today is easier than yesterday in terms of distance and elevation, but I think what's happening is we're carrying over what we did on yesterday into today, and possibly we'll be seeing more of that tomorrow. So both Buzz and I are struggling, and our feet hurt, knees are sore, just really out of energy. Finally saw a deer.